Good evening, everyone. I am Lady Terry B. Jones, the creator of the Church Girl board game, and I'm here to read a story to you about God being our provider. Okay, now this story comes from Numbers chapter 20, verses 1 to 13. And I want you, as a parent, a grandparent, to take time to read different Bible stories to your children so that you will lay a biblical foundation in their lives so that when they encounter problems or situations, they will have the Word of God as a reference. Okay, so the story says in Numbers 20, verses 1 through 6, during the 40 years of wandering, the Israelites stopped at Kadesh, okay, in the desert. All right, so they were in the desert of Zin. It was here that Miriam, okay, we know who Miriam is, right? Moses and Aaron's sister died. So Miriam was Moses' wife, okay? And so they died and they were buried. Okay. Now, during their long years of waiting, the wells in Kadesh dried up. The wells where they would get water from, for themselves, for the cattle and stuff. They dried up. Okay. And so the people and their cattle and sheep couldn't find water anywhere to drink. Now, have you ever been thirsty before? Okay. And so just imagine that. All right. You're talking about, women, men, children, and all of the animals. Okay. So again, the people forgot that God had always given them the water they needed. In the time of need, they forgot about God. Okay. So once again, they came grumbling and complaining to Moses because Moses was their leader at the time, right? He was leading them to the promised land. And so, of course, that's who they went to. No different than when your children, don't have the things that they want. They're going to come to you, okay? Because you are the one that normally gives them what they're needing, okay? And so they came to him complaining, "Why did you bring us into this dreadful desert?" Okay? They demanded, "Why didn't you leave us in Egypt where there were plenty of figs, grapes, and pomegranates to eat?" Okay, so just like, dude, you took us out of our comfort zone, all right? And so there isn't any water for us to drink. Now we're thirsty. There is no water for our cattle. Not only don't we have water, but then our cattle and the sheep don't have any water to drink either, all right? And so those are the things that we need, as a sustenance. And so I say we should have died when our ancestors fell dead before God. So now they must be very thirsty. If they're talking about we should have just died, they really, really must be very thirsty, okay? And so Moses and Aaron knew that it was the people's own fault that they were not in Canaan by now, enjoying the fruit of the land. But Moses and Aaron went from the assembly of people to the entrance of the tabernacle. They fell face down, and the glory of the Lord appeared to them. And so that's what we should do. When we have problems and situations, we need to take those things to God, all right? Things that we are in our control, we don't know what to do and how to move forward, take them to God, okay? Now let's look at Numbers chapter 20, verses 7 to 13, which says, God said to Moses and Aaron, take the rod and gather the people together, the thing that I have given you, all right? Speak to the rock while they watch. I want them to see what I'm getting ready to do. Okay, it shall send forth water enough for all the people and their cattle and their sheep to drink. Okay, God said, I got you. Okay, we about to make this happen. So Moses picked up his rod and told the people to follow him to the great rock, not far from camp, but inside he was feeling very angry. He started getting angry. For years, They had put up with the Israelites' grumblings and all the rude things that they had said about him and about God. So, they were so mad with the people that said instead of them speaking to the rock like God said he should do, Moses got angry and told the people, listen to me, you rebels. Okay, do I have to bring water out of this rock for you? Then Moses raised his arm and struck the rock twice. That is not what God told him to do, right? With his rod. Water gushed out of the rock. So God is going to still provide, even though someone may be disobedient, all right, or rebellious, he's going to still provide, okay? Because he's a faithful God like that. All right. So it gushed out of the rock and began streaming down the side of it. The people rushed to fill their water jars. The cattle and sheep also came to the stream to drink. So everybody's getting satisfied, right? But guess what? God was displeased with Moses and Aaron, and this is what he told them. Because you did not trust in me to show my power to the Israelites, you shall not bring the people into the promised land. These waters were called Meribah, which means the place of arguing. See what kind of problem they got into because of this. Think about what Moses did wrong. Moses and Aaron displeased God and did not receive all of the blessings, okay, that God had in store for them. And the same can happen to us if we obey, right? If we disobey God and his word, all right? And so I want you all to think about this lesson here that I shared with you. And I do have a Bible trivia question because you know this channel is called Bible Trivia Board Game, okay? And I'm going to ask a question of you all. What were the fruits other than figs? I have some figs here, all right? What other fruit was in this story besides fig? I want you to put it in a comment, and when you put it in the comment, I want you to email me at terrybjones@gmail.com, and I will send you a Bible trivia question that went along with the story. And so I am Lady Terry B. Jones, and I am the owner of the Church Girl board game, and I look forward to seeing your comments. Tell me what other fruit was in this story besides the figs, all right? And I'm going to give you a prize. In the meantime, give someone a hug, show someone a smile, and let someone know that Jesus loved them and you do too.